All right, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's gonna be a bit of a different episode because it is snowing like crazy out here in northern Georgia, and something I just didn't expect after moving here from Michigan, but that's besides the point. I'm not really in the mood to risk borrowing a fancy new car to do a review on it just to have some random Georgia driver crash right into us and cause a whole catastrophic mess. But this does line up pretty good because my Mini Cooper here just rolled 36,000 miles, and I think we should dive into what it costs me to own it over the last 4 years and 36,000 miles. First thing I want to cover here is the different warranties that Mini offers and includes when you buy these cars. So the first one is the limited warranty, which is a 4-year, 50,000 mile, whichever comes first, obviously. And this is, in Mini Cooper's words, this is a comprehensive bumper-to-bumper warranty that covers most components, including engine and powertrain parts, against defects in materials of workmanship. The only exception is tires, so they claim. Mini Cooper also offers a rust perforation, which covers up to 12 years of coverage, and that is to cover any rust defects for items that could become rusty due to a factory defect. And that is a very subjective term, because Mini has left that open to all sorts of ways you want to interpret that. Mini Cooper does offer 24/7 road assistance, and they have a sticker for it in the upper corner of the windshield. And it didn't actually say where or how long. I believe that was just for the 36,000 miles. But it provides 24/7 assistance for towing, lockout service, on-site help, and that's pretty much most anywhere in the US, Canada, and Puerto Rico. The weird thing that I want to talk about that's probably going to ruffle a few feathers just because it never worked out for me is that Mini offered complimentary maintenance for the 3-year, 36,000 miles that this car exists. So what that entails is the very first item, engine oil services, then you have inspection services, brake fluid service, engine air filter, and cabin air filters were supposed to be included on the 36,000 3-year life of the vehicle. And when I brought the vehicle in to get its oil change, and I said, hey, I'm here for my complimentary service, the Mini Cooper dealer said, that's not a thing, we're not doing that. And I brought up their website, even showed it right there, quoted from their website, what it all includes, and not the case. I'd like to hear from you guys if you can leave a comment on your experience. This is, I believe, just for Mini USA owners. So if you guys have ever had to experience getting the complimentary service included, or what it actually in total means, because when I read through the website, as I interpret it, it looks like oil changes and all that stuff is included for 3 years, 36,000 miles. So I never had to do that, so that's going to be a factor when I do the total cost breakdown over the last 4 years of ownership with this car. So with that being said, let's go ahead and break down what this Mini needed done over the last 4 years, and that would be oil changes. So I typically do oil changes every 5,000 miles, and at $140 per oil change through the Mini dealership, which obviously you can do it much cheaper elsewhere, I was looking at a total of $980 in oil changes over the life of this vehicle so far. The next thing, I do track this car, so tires were a bit of a price point for this. It'll change. I'll give 2 price breakdowns for total ownership if you were to track this car versus not track the car. So I've gone through 3 sets of tires so far with this car, and it's totaled me about $3,600 for 3 sets. The next thing I want to touch on is the Mini A service, which is the 30,000 mile interval service, and that comes out to $1,250. And that covers spark plugs, coolant flush, cabin air filter, fuel filter, engine oil, brake fluid flush, and just general inspection of everything front to back on the car. I had it done just to do it. The next thing on the list is that I went through 3 sets of brake pads and rotors, and that ran me about $3,000 over the life of the vehicle so far, just keeping the brakes fresh. The next thing is an a la carte item that I just chose to put different wheels on. I went to 1552, threw on a set of these wheels, and that ran me about $1,300. Let me segue real quick into what has actually gone wrong with the Mini Cooper JCW over 36,000 miles. And the most annoying thing is that the dashboard, I don't know if the clips just randomly deteriorate over time or what, but there's a random rattle in the dash that I absolutely cannot isolate. I do not know where it's coming from, but it's definitely somewhere behind the dash. It's just weird how the rattle just comes on. There's certain roads that cause it to really start to bother me, and then there's other times where I'm just driving along and there's absolutely no rattle. So Mini Cooper things, I guess. The other issue that has started to happen, and this isn't just to the JCW, this is all Mini Coopers, and that is the door jamb paint has already started to wear off. And that's just a common thing to know that that just will happen with any Mini Cooper. Apart from those two things, that's it. The vehicle's been rock solid. I love the 8-speed transmission that's in this thing. This car is an absolute beast on the track. When I sought out to buy one of these, it was more of a nostalgia thing due to a certain Italian Job movie. And on top of that, growing up, the red Mini Coopers have been featured in all sorts of video games and stuff. And so again, this was more of a nostalgia purchase for me. And turns out when I brought it out onto the racetrack, this thing absolutely eats the competition. I absolutely love the way this car handles. It blows my mind that it's a front wheel drive car that just you can have this much fun in. Driving around town, zipping through traffic, all that kind of stuff. I haven't found a car that's better than this one. To be honest, I've actually owned over 32 cars in my lifetime, and some very fast cars, some very heavily modified off-road vehicles, and some very luxurious vehicles. This car does not ride great on the road as far as the actual comfort, but as far as the sportiness and how athletic this thing is, I absolutely just love carving canyon roads with this thing. So let's go over the total cost of ownership over the last 4 years, and that number breaks down to $10,130. It is what it is. I'm not gonna complain about it. I knew what I was getting into buying a German car. That's just what it is. Thankfully, it's not leaking anything. I've been really on top of every service interval. I mean, I've had the car inspected every 5,000 miles. All the fluids get changed regularly. I do track the car pretty hard, but outside of just the general wear and tear items like tires, brakes, and oil, the car's rock solid. The cost of ownership should technically be a lot less than that, because if you do get the complimentary oil changes, that knocks off about 980 bucks. I mean, if you're not tracking the car and you just want it to be cool and just cruise down the road, that's another thing too, so that's totally okay. And that would definitely bring down the tire cost, so you technically should be able to get a set of tires to last 36,000 miles with proper rotations and all that. So some people like to go longer on oil changes, some people like to go shorter on oil changes. I think 5,000 is a good happy medium for a full synthetic oil change, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with this car. Let me know if you guys have any random horror stories. Again, this is a 2022 model. I think this is the ideal last good John Cooper Works car that you can buy. I'm not entirely sold on the new 25s, just from all the things I've been hearing about where they've been skimping on performance for those cars. So again, let me know if you guys have any horror stories with your Mini Coopers. I'd love to hear about it. And if you guys have successfully gotten the complimentary maintenance plan to happen, I'd also like to hear about that too, so I can go ahead and talk to my Mini Cooper dealer about that. If you like this video where I dive into what it actually takes to own a certain car, leave a comment down below, because I think it might be kind of a fun, informative series that I'd like to add to the channel. Make sure you like this video, subscribe. I'd like to get more subscribers, as any other channel would. We've got the capabilities to get very, very expensive cars on the channel, but we just don't want to do that quite yet with how few subscribers we have. And we also have the capabilities to scale to a lot higher production level of video, where we can get into more testing and thoroughly showing what cars can do. So again, we'd like to have you guys join us for this channel, subscribe. I think we've got some cool things coming in the works. We've got a cool build episode that we're gonna be shooting next week, and yeah, we'll see you guys for the next video.